All right, how's everybody doing today? I was got a few projects that I need to tackle out here in the shed, and since this is where I do most of my repairs and woodworking and that sort of thing, I need to improve the lighting. Right now, I'm just using some kind of shop lights that I have kind of laying around, and I have some camera lighting that I've gotten, but as far as being out here, it's humid, it's hot, it's cold when it's cold, and it's not the best place for camera equipment. Even though it's old, it's not something I want sitting out here collecting sawdust. So what I'm going to do is I have some of these LED panels. I've put some of these up in various places around the house. They fit within the space of the sheetrock of your ceiling, so you don't actually have to have anything special to fit this in place. So I've got some of these left over. Each one of them comes with its own little junction box that can be mounted to a stud. And then I've cut some brackets, basically just a piece of board, plywood, that will fit directly inside of. So my plan is take one of these, take a light, and I'm going to actually wire it up. Got an extension cord. Wire is very expensive right now, and I wanted a little bit of flexibility to the cable that I'm running, just in case at some point I want these things to swivel so that I can get a little better view at different tools or something like that. So the plan is I'm going to cut this up, run this between my lights. I'll put one over here and a couple over here, and wire them all up, run the cable over to where I can just plug in an extension cord in from my house and actually run all the lights out here. Possible things that I will do in the course of this project is I may actually wire it into a switch that then goes down to a plug that I can plug into the extension cord. And the idea behind that is I may actually at some point get to run a cable, an actual wire out here from my panel box in the house to get some permanent power out here to the shed. So if I do that, and I've already got all of this pre-wiring done, the lights are in place and all that stuff, all I have to do is come back and tie that wire into the junction box by the switch, or add some outlets out here, and I can tie all that into a junction box so that I'm ready to go if that ever becomes a reality. So let's get started. These lights just pop right in. Got a couple of springs here that hold them in place, like so. You can see it fits right in that same 1/4 inch basically. So I figure I can mount the holder to the side, or even turn it and come across, mount it at a angle there so that I can get a better grip, a better place to screw it in. So I might do that actually. Put one on the top, one on the bottom, across there. It's got very little weight to it, so it doesn't need much to support it. I could actually, I could do a cross like this, because that light can come out from the other side. So I could do like this, or even right over the top of it, like so. Put it in like that. And I could mount it to the bottom of that thing, so I don't have to get too fancy with it. Drill out some holes and mount it in place. Might do that. So I'm going to make an assumption that all of my rafters are going to be the same width, at least the ones that I'm mounting these to. So I'm going to actually take a chance and go ahead and cut 3 of these, one for each light, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started on getting these mounted. Alright, so I've got 3 boards here that should all be basically the same length. Will be basically the same length. But it doesn't have to be perfect, so I'm just going to stack all of them up and chop them off. Like so. Well, do one at each end of this board. Alright, hold it up there, and then drill for the other one. And then I can just transfer that hole to the other boards. And as long as we're close, we should be good to go. Alright, first things first, I want to keep as much of this, I want to keep at least a short bit of cable attached to the end of this. I don't want to cut it off right at the end, just in case I need to plug this into something into this at some point. So I'm going to leave a little bit on there. I should have plenty for what I'm using it for. I'm going to cut this off here. Okay. Need to strip back my wire a little bit. I'm going to basically wire each one of these up before I get it on the ceiling. Should make it a little bit easier for me. I did nick that sleeve there, so I'll need to cut that off, but I want to get enough peeled so I have enough afterwards. Now, I'm not an electrician. Don't copy what I'm doing here. I'm sure this is wrong on some level. Get behind that nick that I got on there. I'm hoping this will work. I just realized this is braided cable. I'm hoping that this will still work. 14 gauge. And one of the reasons I say that is because this box has these push-in connectors here, which I've cut off too much. All right. Get them as tight as we can here. So I'm going to come through the side of this box here. And I have somewhere, yeah, here we go. I have some little inserts here that I can put into the hole in this box. I can and just cut a little hole out of the middle of it, just a little slice, and the wire can push through that. Like so. Actually, it will come from the other side, like so. Slide it up in here, and that should fit right into the side, like that. Make sure that that part's in there. And then got our ground. Should go into here. Feels pretty snug. All right, black to black. So, and white to white. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to run my second cable out of here from the other side. So I'll have one up here, and then I want to run the cable from that to my to what's going to be my first box, and then I'll run it across the ceiling to potentially my switch, and then from this box I'll run it over here to my last light, or it might be the other way around. I might start at that one and come across to this one. But either way, this one needs to have two cables running out of it. All right, I have to do some measuring. All right, so I've got my wiring in from both sides. Needed a roughly 10-foot piece and a 5-foot piece coming off of there. So got that cut, and that should be good to go. So now I'm going to mount this to the middle. So then flip it over and mount my box to this side. I just open it up and mount it through the top. Just basically need something to hold it into place. Nothing too fancy. All right. So close it back up. Then this whole piece can be mounted up to the ceiling. All right, let's make sure we get it right side down. This piece I'll connect that up when I have something to stand on. So this wire I'm going to run up and over to the other side over there. and then repeat 2 more times. One of the things I forgot about with that first one I put up was the fact that you can actually push these in from the bottom. I mentioned you can take them out, but I didn't think about the fact that I could do all of this and then put this in last. So that's what I did with this one. I should be able to pop that one up, flip that spring up, get my wire in, and everything goes in from the underside. Might not be exactly round on this one. Looks like it's catching a little bit on this side, but that is actually fine. It's not going to affect anything. There's a little groove inside of the female end here, and so you line that up and everything should be good to go. All right, I had to switch to my phone because my camera ran out of battery, but I got them connected. Got this wired up, that's running across to the outlet. I did put a jumper there. I did put a jumper in the outlet from the 2 wires, so I wired the 2 wires together with a little solid core jumper wire to the outlet itself. Made me feel a little bit better having that instead of the braided or the stranded cable. I've got the outlet wired into this plug, so I can plug this into my extension cord, and that should give power to the outlet as well as all of the lights that I just set up. I got one there, got one over there, and then I've got one right up here. So moment of truth, let's see if it actually lights up. I'm gonna unplug these other lights first, and we'll see how it goes. All right, plugging it in. Ooh, nice, look at that. Now, one thing that I didn't mention before is that these actually have different temperatures that I can set them at. It's like a white, it goes really, really white. So I usually do 1 click back from like the cool white, and that usually, I have a good result with that. This actually gives me a very even light around the shed. It's a mess right now, but it is it's lighting everything up a lot better than what I had before. So super happy with the result. Very happy to have that done, and I'm glad everything worked like I wanted it to. All right, so I appreciate you following along. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Maybe not exactly like this, but I do a lot of how-to, some tech stuff here and there, and I hope you enjoy the channel. Thanks for coming along, and I hope to see you around again real soon. Bye-bye.